It is not boring. It is. Every time is different. Every wave is different. Ooh.
Let's try different approach. Hello, Valetta pour controle. Where are you?
Je hebt toch een motor?
Hello, me dear. I don't have an engine. So, we are almost on our way to Malta. It's our first several day crossing and we've never sailed at night actually. So this is new for us, especially because it's a few days. I guess less sleep, tiring. So we did all our shopping. It's a shame that our stupid outboard decided to stop working, so we had to row to the village, which is 20 minutes rowing. And this morning I brought Anja to the shore so she could do some smaller shopping, which was heavy enough. What else did we do? Of course, everything that has to do with the sails, safety, I guess, engines, check the oil of the gearboxes, and just cleaned up everything. I mean, no loose stuff that can fall off, which wouldn't happen quickly anyway, but just to be sure. All kind of things you gotta think about. I don't know. Let's see. As you know, as most of you know, this is our bedroom where we normally sleep. It's a king-size bed. We're very happy with it, with hatches that can open. We have 5 hatches over here, 4 hatches and a porthole, so that is nice. But because it's not that easy to alarm each other when something happens, the one that's on the steering wheel, Anja came up with the idea to sleep here for the one that is not on watch. This is also our grocery store. And because this hatch here is next to the steering wheel, and if you tap with the hand on the deck here, you can easily hear it. So that's what we're gonna do. Actually, there's not much more to tell. Oh yeah, the winds, the weather, not unimportant. So this is approximately what we can expect. This is windy. We are starting over here and then go all the way to Malta. As you see, here's a lot of winds we don't want to have, especially not as beginners. So we decided to start later. We're here, we're going to round this point and then go straight that direction. As you see, we have enough wind. This is gust, by the way, so not the normal wind. Normal wind is lower. We expect 15, maybe 20 knots normal wind, and then gusts up to 25, 30, sometimes maybe a little more, but we got it from the back. It looks good. The only thing is, when we arrive approximately in Malta, there will be not too much wind first and then wind on the nose. So we'll see what we're gonna do then. Maybe we need to do some tagging, which we don't like with this boat. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Really hope we'll see some dolphins, but you can just hope, right? You can't call them or something. What I also want to do is try to catch some fish and eat some fish, of course. We bound up the dinghy very well, because when you have waves and wind, this whole thing can start swinging. We don't want to have that. We are going to close all the hatches, not to get any seawater in. I think also remove the covers because they can blow off quite easily. We are really looking forward to it. Maybe a little scary because it's the first time, but I think we're ready for it. We've been here long enough and it was nice. Beautiful place, as you can see. It's just time to go. We are going that way, around that corner, then to the tip of the island, and then westward, a little west-southwest, and leave Greece.
Lukt allemaal schat, met de digitale techniek.
Hij doet niet allemaal wat ik wil, maar het lijkt nu te lukken.
Ja, ik denk, ik ga maar even recht naar voren. Ik kan niet goed zien waar je heen gaat. Ik ga er bovenop liggen.
This is tiring. The electric winch still doesn't work. So we need to do it by hand. But it's 20 meters deep here. So it's quite a lot of weight. 5 meter. Even het gewoon spoelen, is een klein beetje rotzooi. Most of the time there's a little bit of mud on the anchor. I don't know if you can see it from there. So you go afterwards to flush it off. Yes, it's coming off. You see chunks coming off. It's just a little bit. This is the waves of the ferries. We love the ferries. Not for some reason they always go full speed into the bay or full speed out of the bay. Yes, we would love to sail, but not much wind. And the little wind that we have, maybe we lose with our boat speed. So we just have to wait. Here we came from, and we already rounded the tip of the island. There's another tip, and there is open sea. And we won't see land anymore till Malta. I hope you can hear me with all the wind noise. So this is the second day of our journey, and we've had quite a rough night. There was cross seas, wind speeds up till over 30 knots, with a kind of basis of 25 knots. We had to reef the Genoa. I think the half, and we still went 7 knots. When the sun came up again, we rolled out the Genoa totally again, and we're doing 7 knots or more constantly. So that's nice. In a few hours, I think we already will have done half the distance, so that's quite fast. But the second half, we'll have way less wind, so it's nice that we made some distance. The thing now is, you see a few big ships, AIS, and we are close to a shipping lane. So you gotta watch out that it don't hit those big guys. They're way faster and a little bigger. But I'm not getting nervous because it will be a miracle to hit one of those. As you can see, the sea is so big. The chance that you hit another boat is so small. I'll need to be careful though, because like I said, they are way bigger than we are. So I'm gonna try to pass in between those two. One is pointing exactly at us at the moment, even a little bit behind us. And the other one is so close that he will be gone before we are there. So no problem. It's actually not that difficult because on AIS you can see what the distance is from that ship to your ship, and then what his speed is, what your speed is, you know, of course. So you can calculate more or less how quickly he will be at this point, or at the point you would cross if you would be there at the same time. And I already see him pointing behind us now, so that's no problem. The other one is, like I said, it's gone before we are there. so it's no problem, I think. Ooh. I turned the cabin light on for a moment, otherwise I can't see myself thinking when I'm talking to you. It is evening, as you can see. It's dark outside. I wish I had a camera that is sensitive enough to show all the stars, because there is no artificial light here. So there's so many stars to see. And I really love it. It's like God just turned on the lights. It's beautiful. See the Milky Way and all the stars. Millions and millions, hundreds of millions of them. So what's new? This is the second night, right? So the first night, what was kind of new is that you can see so many stars. And so that's nice. And the second thing, which I can't show you either, is the light emitting algae or whatever it is behind the boat. What do I think of night sailing? Because this is the first time we do a several day crossing. In a way it's boring, but at the same time you don't need to do anything. Just take care of the boat, which is not much because you just take care of the sails. In this case, just one, especially yesterday night, because it was kind of rough night. It was high waves. The boat went up and down and left, right, turned. Not pleasant, not comfortable. But it was a new experience, and I like new experiences. And you just have time to think. There's no telephone here because there's no land. And oh, by the way, this is the first time we don't see any land around us while at sea, while on the water. First time in our lives. Nice. And we just passed the halfway point. Like I showed you earlier, we crossed a traffic lane, a cargo ship's traffic lane, whatever. And in a while, somewhere tonight, we will pass the second one between the most southern point of Greece towards the canal in between Sicily and Malta. So we gotta watch out. I guess most ships will light up as a Christmas tree. But anyway, we have AIS on our tablets on Navionics, and if needed we also have radar. And my eyes, which don't work now because of the cabin light, so they have to adjust in a few minutes, I guess, when I turn off the light again. Yeah, I'm glad it's the wind has died down a little. We have like 10 to 12 knots now. Speed is 3.5 knots over ground. And of course in the direction of Malta. I slept a little bit, I did a nap before it went dark, and now Anya has gone to bed to try to get some sleep. She only has had a 1 hour sleep since yesterday morning, so she needs it. I can sleep anywhere, almost any circumstance, so no problem. For Anya it's more difficult to just sleep, so she's so tired, she slept anyway.
So I hope she will get some night rest before she take Overwatch. We didn't really agree on certain hours that we would be on watch, but just whoever is tired goes to sleep, and that's it. I'm more like an evening person and Anja is more like a morning person, so we keep that in account too, and we'll just see. I'm going to put out a light now to see if there's something big coming this way, and see you tomorrow morning. Goedemorgen, schat.
Alweer goedemorgen.
Hoe is het leven hier?
Goed.
Ja?
Ja.
Beetje vermaakt?
Ja, dat is mooi. Zonsopgang. Maandje. Een klein maandje.
Een klein maandje.
Hele mooie sterren, omdat het zo donker is.
Ja, leuk hè?
Ja. Echt, ik heb 1 boot gezien, heel in de verte. Helemaal niks.
Dat is wel apart hè, alleen maar
Ja, wat mooi.
alleen op de wereld.
Ja.
Met mij natuurlijk.
Ja, voor jou ook gerust.
Nee, dat is zo.
Lekker stil zeker.
Ja, dat is beter hè, dan die golven.
Ja, dat is fijn. Ik ga lekker slapen nu.
Dat is een goed idee. En lekker binnen, dan ga ik hier wat nuttigs doen.
Ik denk dat we misschien een tweede motor bij moeten zetten.
Wat?
Nou, dan komen we wat gunstigere tijd in Valletta aan. Hier kom je eind van de avond aan. En als we ietsje sneller zetten, komen we 's ochtends aan, 9 uur. Nog voor het weekend.
Oh ja.
Ik denk dat het handiger is.
You see, my lovely wife doesn't have any hope for some wind left.
Nou, er is wel een beetje wind. Een heel klein beetje. Maar hij komt gewoon uit de verkeerde richting.
Ja.
En dat blijft het volgens mij.
So a new morning on sailing Exodus. Tried to catch some fish today, but don't think it's gonna work. And there's the sun coming up. And our third day at sea. So with the sun on my back, so you don't have to see my ugly face. Somewhere this night we stopped sailing because there was no wind anymore, and the little bit of wind there was almost came from the nose, which is still the case. We have about 9 knots of apparent wind from the nose, but we have 2.6 knots, 2.5 as you can see over here. So sailing doesn't make sense. I think the maximum we can do is 45 to 50 degrees apparent wind. That's absolutely the maximum. So not even gonna try. And we could take another route, but because there's no much wind, it wouldn't help us much. And if we have to motor, we have to motor. I hate it, but that's it. I thought, let me just try anyway. I thought we were too sharp on the wind to sail, but as it looks now, 1 sail, 2 sails, and 3 sails. I love it. And it's not even bad. Let's see, 12, 13 knots at, what is it, 50, 45, 50. Apparent wind, 4.8 knots of boat speed over ground. You see that yellow bottle over there? And there's a kind of buoy with an antenna on it. It is a beacon, I guess, from a fishing boat. Over there is the fishing boat, somewhere. And sometimes you see kind of animal that are moving at the surface. Anyway, we needed to change our course because we saw what we thought was the first bottle of that net. And up till now it's more than 7 miles of net and it's still not finished. Unbelievable, man. And another, by the way, this is a practically windless Mediterranean. Somebody wrote the MET, those letters stand for motoring every day. Well, we've done a lot of sailing, but now we are motor sailing. See, one motor is running, and then we still have the sails up. It's doing nothing anymore. But up till now, we had the port side engine running. It gave us about 2 knots of boat speed. But when we kept the sails with it together, we were at about 3.5 knots of boat speed. While the engine was running slower than normally when it gets 2 knots. So That's a lot less diesel, which we like.
There's the fisherman.
.5 kilometer deep here, 3,500 meters deep, and I'm swimming. It is as blue as the Shipwreck Bay, unbelievable, and warm. Nice. The absolute tranquility. Middle of the sea, nobody around, just we saw a helicopter from some Coast Guard, which is far away from land. He circled around us, I think just to check us out, to see who we are, what kind of boat we are. But there's just nothing. Just totally nothing. It's a shame we can sail, but because there's no wind, everything is so calm, so silent, so I love it, I love it, I love it. We're running just one engine because the second engine doesn't really add much to the boat speed. And why would we burn a lot of diesel? We have all the time in the world. Okay, we need to work, but we can do that here too. We are doing 2.3, 2.4 knots at the moment. We feel so ridiculously grateful. God is good for us. He's always good for us. Also when things don't go like we want to. But this is special. This is good. I don't know what it is with the sea, but you can look for hours at the same boring waves. You know, it is not boring. It is. Every time is different. Every wave is different. It's just makes you calm inside, makes you peaceful inside, just to watch out over the enormous expanse of the sea. And this is just the Mediterranean Sea. So the oceans are way bigger. But still, we haven't seen anybody in a long time. As you can see, we have the sails up again. But we are also motoring because the wind was not good. The wind came from here, was just too sharp for us, too much on the nose. So we started the port side engine and our motor sailing. Something new we learned, that it's actually quite useful when the wind is coming too much from the nose, because when you are making more speed in that direction, the apparent wind is going to do that. I don't know how to better explain it, but it works. So now we are doing 3.3, 3.1 knots. It's not much, but it's more than just on two engines and more than just sail. The whole boat is salty now, and we clean, especially the cockpit, we clean now and then with fresh water to not get everything too sticky. What you hear in the background is the VHF people that are talking with the port of Valletta in Malta. As soon as we enter the territorial waters, we need to call them because of the whole, you know what thing. We need to stick something in our nose. I think they made them from gold because it's so expensive. Anyway, as long as we can get into the country. And now, of course, you want to ask me, Wim, are you tired? Well, sometimes we are quite tired, yeah, because it's sometimes hard to get some sleep. And we do get some sleep, even Anya sleeps now and then. But it's short periods of time, and it's of course less than normally. And you do not know, but normally I sleep like 9 hours per day. So, but Anya is still happy and fruitful as ever, as always. So things are going well. No, it's really nice to do this together. It's great, and we see that we complement each other, if that's the right word. meaning I do my part, she does her part, or we switch, and everything works out fine. One thing sucks though, I still haven't caught a fish. I lost a lot of lures. The line just broke somewhere. I think it's a very old line, so lures are gone. I have some left, but not the right ones. So we'll see if in this last part of the trip we will catch something. I doubt it. It is definitely time for a new Dutch flag. Luckily we still have one in the boat. It's not big, it's really small. Oh yeah, it's so small. I'm not such a nationalistic type anyway, but this is really small. Anyway, then we have a Maltese flag. Even the courtesy flag of Malta is bigger than our Dutch flag. And then the quarantine flag. Because we are very infectious, I guess. I'll need to use the old one. Come on, thingy. So I can hang this one. Because I really love my country. Oh, it's more like a French flag, so I think you need, the red needs up. This is really pathetic. Nah, this is a small. We'll see if we can find a new one in Malta. So what's the status of the big sea ships, my love?
En er gaat er eentje achter ons langs.
Ja?
En die andere ook, denk ik. Maar die is nog ver weg. Maar die moeten we wel even in de gaten houden.
Oké. Wel lastig om te bepalen of die voor of achter langs. Je kan het wel een beetje berekenen, maar toch.
Ja, en je weet ook niet of dat hij dezelfde koers blijft varen natuurlijk.
Ja, dat lijkt me vrij aannemelijk lief, een roodschepen.
Ja, weet ik niet.
Of dat ze denken, hey, Exodus, rammen.
Nee, dat niet. Maar je weet toch niet waar ze heen gaan?
Nee, dat is zo. An hour ago or something, we saw dolphins. I know most video channels have loads of footage of dolphins, but not us. For us, this is new. There's a bird. What kind of bird is it? I don't know. Anyway, they passed in front of us and then two came back to check out our boat, but we were so slow, we're not interesting. There's no waves to play with, or so they left. They were gone. They just dove and they didn't come up again. I wish I could hold my breath that long. And then another one on the other side later on. It's amazing. I'm still looking for sperm whales though. There should be a smaller kind of sperm whales over here. We hung our Maltese courtesy flag and the quarantine flag. Yeah, I don't know why. It's still Europe, it's still Schengen. Nowadays they invented all kind of stupid new rules. Stupid, whatever. Nobody listens. And you can't even have a decent discussion about it anymore. You follow the rules, otherwise you're out. Again, it is what it is. So tomorrow morning, as soon as we enter the territorial waters, we need to contact the Coast Guard or Port of Valletta, I don't know, in Malta. We've been 5 days at sea, no, more than 4 days at sea then. And we still need to be tested for 200 euros per person. But the sun is beautiful. This is super frustrating because we have 20 to 24 on the nose, minus our speed is 2 knots. So that means 18 to 22 on the nose wind. So it's the perfect wind to sail, but we just can't use it because it's straight on the nose. But the sun is up again. I think it's going to be another beautiful day with blue skies and blue seas.
Yeah, enjoy that. Change of plans. As you can see, we decided to start sailing again, and then in a different direction. Actually, we're going back a little bit, but we got so much wind on the nose that it was hard to motor against it with our tiny engines. So we're going a few degrees starboard of north now for a while, out of the anchoring zones of the big ships anyway, because they're going to start motoring toward the harbors soon, and it's better to be out of that. And then go back in another angle to Valletta. Instead of the southern bay, we want to go now into the northern bay. Our children will come to Malta next week, and that's the neighborhood. They are in a hotel at least for 1 week, and then we'll see what we're gonna do. So I think this is better. We stay out of the shipping lane and we can sail. No engines. Better. I think time-wise it doesn't matter, because we went in a straight line and now we go all over the world. This is almost a circumnavigation to get to the same point we would go directly. Doesn't matter, sailing is nice. Hoeveel mijlen is het nog?
We zitten nu op de grens.
Valletta port control, Valletta port control. This is sailing vessel Exodus. This is sailing vessel Exodus. Over. Valletta port control, Valletta port control. This is sailing vessel Exodus. This is sailing vessel Exodus. Over.
Ja.
Valletta port control, Valletta port control.
Not a single reaction. Let's try different approach. Valletta port control! Where are you? Oh, doesn't work either.
De haven zit gevonden bootjes.
Ja, we gaan een beetje mee hoor.
Ja,
Zo, we leggen hem even stil tot alles voorbij is. En dan,
ja, dat is zo.
we zijn niet snel, maar we kunnen wel wenden.
Ja. Nou, hopen dat we een plekje kunnen vinden.
Ja.